what is up, my boys? This is a Fiat 500, and this is why it's the best second-hand super mini you can probably buy right now if you have any taste. So this one isn't particularly well equipped. It's the 1.2 litre pop, so the base model, but it's got quite a few options on it. The 1.2 pop usually comes with, especially this 58 model, usually comes with 2 airbags, one for driver, one for passenger, some really bad wheel trims, the usual silver ones. This one has the colour therapy ones fitted because they just look so good. We've got the chrome mirror caps as well, which are, I think they're about 150 quid option. We've also got the weird tacky looking Italian badges, which apparently look good, but in my opinion they absolutely look terrible. They look like something from Halfords. In terms of the styling with this car, it's one of the best looking cars you can get, of course, because it's linked to something iconic, which is the original Fiat 500, and it has that wonderful smirky face that greets you every time. It's like a tiny dog, and I've never been depressed in it. It's just one of the cutest cars you can buy, and that's why I like it so much. It's got the little silver moustache, it's got the chrome moustache, it's got these Fiat badges which always come delaminated but still looks cool, just get them replaced. It's got the world's smallest bonnet. I mean, there is no surface area there. It's just so tiny, and that's what I like about it. It's so small, but inside it's actually miraculously massive for what it is. I used to do deliveries in this car, and I used to be able to get about 3 large big yellow self-storage boxes in the back, which is about an accurate measurement of that much, which is about as big as me crouching right now. But it's miraculously roomy because it's got a really low loading lip, and you fold the seats flat, you've got a tiny van. It's just so good, and I really, really like it. I really like the wheels we've put on it. Well, the trims. Shout out to my boys who collect wheel trims, by the way, I know who you are. Which I'm so scared about these wheel trims. Every 5 seconds I have to check if they're falling off because they cost a lot of money. Believe it or not, they're about 30 quid each, and a full set sometimes can cost, in perfect conditions, about 200 quid. I mean, I don't know about you, but I'd rather just get alloys. But then again, the alloy wheels for this car, in my opinion, from the 08 and the earlier models don't look very good. I much prefer the wheel trims, and it's a basic car. I like having steel wheels because it's really, really basic. It's as close to me that you can get a real basic car besides that horrible Dacia that I really, really, really want to have a look at. But no, the car looks really, really nice. It's got basically it's a giant cute little bubble that you drive around in, and for me that's what sells it to me. The American version of this actually looks a bit more aggressive because we've got these really nice projector lights. We've just got the standard halogen lights which look a bit... The newer model actually looks really quite a lot nicer than this. This is a bit basic, but the new model actually looks like a premium car. This if I was to liken it to a piece of technology or anything, it's an iPod. If it was a car, it's a little iPod shuffle. You've got all your cute little colours. They're all the same, but hey, you pick a colour and it shows your personality. I mean, this is a nice colour. It's such a good little package, and the interior, which we'll get onto in a minute, is just astounding and hasn't aged a day. Now, my favourite part of the car is probably the inside, because it's one of the coolest parts of the car. You've got the lovely body coloured plastic. It's not metal as much as some of you would like to believe. You've got the cute little, we've got cream plastics everywhere. I really don't like the black plastic one. I don't understand why this is the colour it is, but I can't imagine it being cream, to be honest with you. I think that would look pretty terrible. The lovely little gauge cluster. Oh, I'm such a sucker for all-in-one gauge clusters. Whether you've got the revs in the middle, your speed on the outside, and everything else on the inside just looks so good, and it makes me nostalgic for a time I never lived in, which is probably, I think this car in the original version, the 50s version and 60s version, had the lovely little same sort of dial, but the little instrument binnacle's pretty hilarious. There's always a screw that seems to wiggle itself out, and that's the next thing I'd like to talk about, which is the build quality, and it's okay for what it is. The newer ones, and I've been in one, are so much better than the old ones. The headlining on this is a bit like that, pushes and stuff. It's not a premium car though, and it's not a premium hatchback at all. if you think this is a premium hatchback, I suggest you go sit in a premium hatchback in a premium car, because this doesn't feel like it at all. The plastic's really, really scratchy and warps at the bottom, especially after you've had it for a while. This weird material on the door I just don't like at all. It matches the seats, and the seats are so good and comfortable, but I'd say this is one car that you can sit in and not ever be comfortable in terms of, like, for example, in the Rover, which is a totally different car. I know it's totally different, but I can sit back in that and just, you know, become armchair god. But this thing, you're always like really alert. You always feel like you kind of sit on it rather than in it, in my opinion. You're in your own little bubble, but the driving position is so weird. I know it's supposed to be because, you know, you've got such a short bonnet and the car's so small, but I don't know. That's the main reason why I don't drive this thing on a daily, is because when after a hard day's work, you sit in the car and you sat on it, and you're like, you know, you always feel like you're in a rush. And maybe that's just me being an over emotional weirdo, but I always feel like I'm in a rush in this car, and I drive it like I'm in a rush because it is so fun to drive. It's one of the most fun cars I've ever driven. It's not very confidence inspiring there around corners, because it just kind of feel like it's going to fall over every 5 minutes. Maybe that's because I don't have the traction control ASR version, which, you know, has all the crazy stuff to keep it not falling over. But it's really, really fun. It's like a little weird go-kart. In fact, it's more like if you're on one of those cup rides and the cup just flew off. That's what it's like driving this thing fast. One of the main things that me and the owner of this car, my girlfriend, disagree about is that you can't drive it on a motorway. I don't feel that confident in driving it on a motorway because it always feels like it's going to fly away. And maybe that's because our tyres are pretty good, actually. What do you expect? I'm not going to put Michelins on this. No one's putting Michelins on the Fiat 500 unless they're top middle class M&S. I ain't no M&S. I'm more a Tesco at the minute. You know, even at my Sainsbury's heights, I ain't putting no Michelins on my Fiat 500. It just doesn't feel good on a motorway. I've never liked it on a motorway. I think I can stomach about 40 minutes on a motorway, and then I'm out. It's good down B roads though. It's so nice. It's so fun to drive. I really, really, really like it. It's one of my favourite cars to drive. When I'm in a rush at work and I need to get to work and I'm running late, you pick this boy because you drive like a maniac in it. I don't know where this perception of all the Fiat 500 drivers being girls and you're driving so slow and daddy's money, because I drive this thing like a maniac. It's so fast and so fun. It is really nippy. I hate to know what a bath one is like. I really, really want to drive in a bath. If you have in a bath, you drop me a cheeky DM, because I want to drive that. That is such a golden car. This feels nippy because it's so tiny, but at the same time, like I was saying earlier, it's massive in here. I've got we do the hair test. I mean, I've got like a massive structure on my head. I've got that much space. It's just a good car. I really like it. It's not very confidence inspiring when you drive around a corner fast. I don't really like driving it in the wet. The wheels always spin, especially on a drain, but the Rovers do that. It's just a nice car. The interior hasn't aged a day, besides this awful radio, which, if you're trying to change put an aux cable in the back of it, which you can do, by the way, you do the radio keys, and all you end up doing is scratching the flipping dash, because they're always stuck in, which is the worst thing ever. People in the Fiat 500 group have taken them to garages to get that done and just paid for the hour's labour, because I ain't doing that. I hate my hands. I've got alright hands. I've got nice hands, so I ain't hurting my hands on this. But other than that, that's probably the only thing I'd change about the car, is that flipping radio. And we don't have the steering wheel controls on this model. That's another trade-off that you got with a Pop. But by golly, she's good. And she's got that tiny little 1.2 litre fire engine that's just like a crazy fan heater on max setting. And another thing about the thing about the heating is, usually one of my favourite things about this car in the current months is, of course, it's really cold in the morning. You start the boy up, you like rev it a little bit and all of a sudden she's really warm and you've got the warm air coming out, which is perfect for de-icing or demisting the screen. It's just such a good car. And these window switch positions are a bit weird. The cup holder's also really weird. I mean, you put something in there. I drove around a corner when I was driving here, and this thing like flew and nearly got stuck under my foot. I was that close to actually going 60 miles an hour in this thing, which I don't do because I'm a bit of a wimp, but my God, she drives good. And this one has, well no, it doesn't have any there, I'm so used to the road, but it has a knee airbag, a passenger airbag, and it has 2 curtains. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 6 airbags, all for £1,900. This is a really cheap one. And you can probably pick up a pretty good one for about 2,000, 2,500. And I mean, if I had a son or a daughter or anything, I would put them in one of these because this is so cool. But that's the other perception. Not everybody thinks this car is cool. Not everybody thinks it is. Everyone thinks, oh, it's a girl's car. The amount I cannot count, and this is getting a bit political, but I cannot express how many times I've been called gay in this car by someone driving a flipping Mark IV Golf. I mean, you can just, the Neanderthal nature of calling me gay because I'm driving a Fiat 500 is really annoying. And you have like people like, well, yeah, poof. It's like, bruh, at least I'm not driving scaffolding. At least I'm not driving a flipping 2 wheelie bins taped together. This thing is just the best. And I love that it provokes such a strong reaction from the troglodytes, from the absolute trogs that just don't get it. Just why wouldn't you like this car? I don't understand. Usually they've got, you know, it's just, nobody appreciates these. And every time you see a guy in the Fiat 500 group, they more or less, or any of the groups should I say, they more or less have the same or similar experience where you get that dirty look or you get the smirk from a Focus driver there. It's like, oh my God, dude. You know, it's just such a cool car. I just don't take kindly to people being not very nice to people and using things as insults that shouldn't be insults at all. It just really, it doesn't wash with me, and I don't get why a car would make you anything other than just another person on the road. But hey, so in summary, this car is rather cute, but it is a very, very good proposition for someone that wants a first car or wants just a little run around. This car's perfect for a city. I can park it in 2 seconds. I'm the worst guy at parallel parking, but believe me, if there's a bicycle in that space, you know I'm going to get in with a 500. I'll just slam that bad boy into parking spots, and that's what you need in a city car. That's what city cars are for. But a car also is supposed to make you feel a bit special, and this thing sure does. It's like it's an iPod shuffle on wheels with its lovely little plastics in the dash. That's same as outside. It's a little smiley face. Everything about it is just great, and it's such a cute little car. She's reliable. We've never had any problems with them. The build quality is a bit ropey on some of them. It's a bit hit and miss, but I mean, have you heard about the new A-Class? The build quality on that on some of them is fucking terrible, dude. But this thing, she's good. And the new one, my lord, the new one is so flipping nice. I really like the new one, especially the steering wheel. I'm a big fan of chunky steering wheels, and that thing is so, she's got a thick steering wheel, and I love it. It's such a lovely car, and yeah, I really like it. You just read the tits off it and enjoy. It's got city mode as well, which is top notch, and I really like city mode. And they're just whipping it into spaces, thrashing it around Sheffield, thrashing it around any city. Don't drive it on the motorway, for the love of God. Then again, most people aren't as bad as I am, so I much prefer the other cars I've driven on the motorway to this. But yeah, she's just good. So remember to subscribe for more weird, well, it's not really a weird car, for more car reviews of just random cars I can get my hands on. And if you have a car you would like my ass to look at, let me know, because I'll review anything, please. I'm desperate. I'm running out of content. thanks for watching, and keep watching. Subscribe. Thanks, because the number's going up, and the number's going up. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for subscribing. I absolutely love that, seeing that number go up. So, and again, I repeat, thanks for watching, and keep watching.